I'm pushing for people to be the best and highest version of themselves,
Okay.
not comparative to me, Rico, or anybody else.
Okay.
So if you achieve the best and highest version of you, you're done.
You made it.
You made it. Now the journey continues. It's a journey with no destination. But you're striving to become the best version of you, not to be on TV or be a millionaire. None of that stuff matters. Like me having money or degrees, it just worked out that way.
It matters.
It matters.
Yeah.
It matters to society.
No, I
No,
think it matters.
No, let me tell you
In
why.
my opinion,
Let me tell you
I
why.
don't think it matters.
It matters.
All of this came with it. When you're in your and when you're in and being the highest version of you, you are a creator.
Correct.
You are part of source. The same way, like the first words in the Bible is talking about in the beginning there was the word,
And the word was with God.
and the word was with God,
The word was God.
and the word was God. Okay. So the things that you are telling yourself, okay, when you become a creator, now that conversation is gonna roll in your head.
And it creates.
And it creates.
And it creates.
And so it doesn't matter what you do,
It keeps
you're going to be abundant.
If you have negative thoughts, you're creating.
Or average.
If you have
doesn't
average
matter.
thoughts, you're creating.
I'm saying the money doesn't matter because I'm in the spirit of the creator, because I'm tapped into source, it comes with it. So it doesn't matter.
I could hustle my whole life to make $100 million.
Yeah.
And I could end up just putting so many hours in. And then there's this kid, he's just born with $100 million.
Right.
It's just that I'm trying to figure out
Well,
in your balance.
a lot of it is your resistance. And sometimes you wanting to pull people along with you is creating the resistance to it. And we tend to have that nature in our community.
Very.
Well, we want to pull everybody with us.
We taking everybody.
But that's a violation of universal law. You're violating universal law. You cannot have dominion over people. And whenever you attempt to have dominion over people and control their lives, even if it's in the positive, you're in violation of universal law and you're creating resistance to your own flow. So it's so important that we realize there are things that we need to surrender and let go. And most of us don't want to let go of them because of, whatever reasons. I talk about like the guilt that I felt for a long time leaving the hood.
You still feel it?
Sometimes.
It feels like it's somewhere, right?
Well, that's still
completely gone, or
part of it is still old programming.
okay.
I spent 18 years in programming in the hood.
Facts.
And all the bylaws of the hood, I followed them to a T.
Yeah.
And so that programming is still there. So I realized some of that programming I'm still switching off. Some of it is very silent and the new programming is louder. And so, yeah, I still feel some guilt sometimes, but I also realize how futile that is when it comes to my new understanding of how life and God works within me. So it becomes the surrendering part. I have to surrender that. It's just like in this whole space of helping people heal, it requires surrendering. Because if I attach myself to their results, then I'm constantly going to be telling myself I either healed or didn't heal somebody.
All these people you're healing, does it pull your energy? Because you heal a lot of people, even from the last episode that we did. How do you recharge?
It definitely used to, because there's this saying around who will heal the healer.
Yeah.
So like I think people forget, like, like this guy, he reached out to me one time. He was like, "Yo, I was reading your life path number, and I saw your birthday, and I saw the numbers in your birthday." He was like, "Everything about you said that you were supposed to be a healer."
Mhm.
He was like, "So it's amazing that you are, and you're doing it in the way you are." And he asked me the same question you asked me. And at the time, I didn't have an answer for him because everything was going out.
Mhm.
All my energy was going out. So I felt myself saying, like, at some point, like, I probably had like 5 more years left in doing what I was going to do before I just disappeared on my farm.
Because it pulls so much out of you.
Yeah, because you care so much.
Yeah.
And I have to watch people die sometimes. And sometimes it's because they refuse to get over the food addiction or whatever it may be. Sometimes it's they refuse to resolve those unresolved traumas, whatever it may be. But like I'm there with them, and I have to experience that. And that's the part that used to really take me under. But now, through a lot of new understanding and prayer and a little bit of elevation in my life, I just have a new understanding of it.
Because you could see them, like let's just say they're eating Snicker bars, they're drinking the soda, they're stopping 3 times at McDonald's.
Yeah.
They're doing all of this stuff, and you see it, and you know, like I don't think they see it.
No, they
Because
can't see it. They're in it.
if I'm eating a Snicker bar and a cheeseburger right behind it, and I'm doing that, I don't see that I'm dying and killing myself. But someone who is healthy and has those lenses that heals people, you see it as clear as day.
Yeah. And especially for our community, because at the end of the day, when you think about it, and what I was telling them was like, I understand your struggles because again, like in college, I was broke. I remember going to the grocery store, and this is when they like first started doing checkout at the
Mhm.
grocery store, like self checkout. I would steal food, and then I would come back the next week when I got money
And pay.
and scan it twice and pay them back. So I've been there. I know what it's like. But I always tell people is that you got to realize like the system is rigged.
Yeah.
It's designed for us to eat unhealthy food. Like, look what happened during the pandemic with the whole chicken sandwiches and
The
the
Popeyes
chicken sandwich beef. Like, who got the better chicken sandwich?
fried chicken.
Yeah. And not like a guy shot and killed somebody in a restaurant. That's the level of addiction that we had to food.
It
But
is.
did you hear about what happened with that? That they actually did a test on the chicken, and I believe the Popeyes chicken sandwich had 50 total ingredients.
As 48.
Well, yeah, and over 40 of them were man-made.
Yeah. So Popeye's chicken sandwich has 48 ingredients. Chick-fil-A sandwich, just a chicken patty,
Yeah.
has 55. 2 of the ingredients are monosodium glutamate. Monosodium glutamate makes you addicted to food. All right, so that's why they put it in there twice. It's the same ingredient inside of Popeye's chicken sandwich.
It
Okay,
gives you that addiction.
it makes you want it. Now you remember the movie that came out with
Definitely
Jamie
like a
Foxx?
Chick-fil-A.
The Tyrone.
They cloned Tyrone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
There's
didn't
a-
see it yet.
I'm gonna give you just a scene. There's a scene in the movie where they're at the table and they've discovered like the powers that be are controlling the neighborhood and they're doing stuff and they're trying to figure out how they're doing it. And people are in the restaurant eating the chicken and they're laughing and giggling. And then all of a sudden he like knocks all the food off the table. He's like, it's in the chicken. He's like,
Yeah.
what's in the chicken? He's like, the dope in the chicken.
hmm
And so, like, again, I always tell people, like, when evil happens, they have to show you. They have to show you.
They have to put it in your face.
They have to
'Cause
show
it has
you.
to be in front of you,
They have
so
to
you
show
don't
you.
believe it.
But they did it already.
Yeah,
And people don't listen. They did it, Undercover Brother.
but that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
It's like about the whole, I can't afford it. We can only evoke our power by saying no. When you look at black people as a whole, like black and brown people, if you were to look at us as a whole and our buying potential,
It's
we have
incredible.
the economy of the 16th largest nation in the world. If we just look at African Americans, our buying power is the 16th largest economy in the world, if we looked at it that way. All right? So when we say no to like people in our neighborhood who don't treat us well but sell us food that is unhealthy for us, it's powerful.
Well,
Liquor stores.
listen to this. I remember this is a very, very true story. True story. So one time, we're entrepreneurs. We're always trying to buy stuff. So one time we heard that the grocery business owning a supermarket had a sick cash flow, right? It's daily cash flow because you're selling stuff every day.
Right.
So usually when we go out to make an acquisition, we usually look for someone who's in the space already, someone to consult us and kind of explain to us the space.
Yeah.
So we met this guy. He owned like 4 grocery stores or something like that. You know what he said? He said, "Oh, for the Spanish people, you have to put this in the supermarket. And if you're in this neighborhood," he explained to us everything because it's a Spanish neighborhood. You have to put it this way, that way, this way. Or this is a white neighborhood. You have to do this all the way. Or the blacks, you just put anything in it. They eat anything.
Damn.
So they're just like that.
Like a chicken.
He's like, "Oh yeah, the blacks, they'll eat anything. You just put
Whatever-
anything.
whatever
in.
you put
Whatever
in
you
it.
put on the shelf, they'll eat it."
Yep.
And I was like, and I think that's why we didn't go into that business.
Yeah.
Because
But
I was just like, that's
That's reality.
most of the food in our neighborhoods is addicting. It's addictive food,
that was just like,
which is why there's so much opposition to changing our diet.
even though you see the weight, you see everything.
See, like we're the worst of everything. Dialysis clinics are just as prevalent as McDonald's in our neighborhoods today. You know, like we're number one in everything. Number one on obesity. Number one in heart disease. Number one in high blood pressure in the world. Number one in breast cancer for women, black women. Number one in prostate cancer for black men. We're number one in all of it.
Okay, so let's just say I live in a low income neighborhood and I want to change my life.
Yeah.
What do I eat?
Well, first of all, I think the most important thing is, again, the power of saying no, understanding the power of your dollar.
Okay.
Okay. And then when some brothers like you start to come through, like, hey, I want to buy a supermarket, it's like, all right, can you put some fresh vegetables and some good stuff in here for us?
Okay.
So that's part of it. The other part is like, like what I was telling people, on the session what I was having with them, like that's one of the reasons why I started a tropical fruit farm.